This is every sword in Terraria ranked in a tier list based off my personal and very biased opinion. Also, thank you for 4,000 subscribers! Seriously, thank you to all of you for the continued support and continuous growth. I couldn't be happier, seriously, legitimately, thank you. If you're one of the many blokes on the internet who has not subscribed, consider hitting that weirdly flashing button down below. Let me know what you think about my ratings down in the comment section below. And by the way, this is in no particular order. Let's begin. First, we'll start out with the Cobalt Sword. It's one of the original hard mode ores, which is one reason why I think it's based, but two, it's not like anything better than Adamantite, nor it's around the same level as Mithril, so that's why I'm going to put it in B tier to start. The Falcon Blade. It's like, there's nothing crazy about it. I mean, it's very simple, does the job, it auto swings, and that's a big point I will probably bring up again later on. Swords that auto swing are based. So, I'm gonna throw it in C, just cause, you know, I mean, it's based for a lot of things, but isn't really that exciting. The Volcano. Hopefully y'all remember the original name. I think there was an older sprite for this as well. You know, I'm nostalgic for a lot of things, as well as the fact that this sword was probably the sword that I had every single time I played through this game back in 2015. I mean, obviously it does really well, has a cool animation. I love fire. So with that all being said, I'm going to put it in S tier. Before we continue with the tier list rankings, I would like you all to know the fact that me and my team from our indie game company, Fern Sprout Studios, will be attending the Seattle Indies Expo this September 1st with our very own Fern Sprout Studios booth. This is happening right alongside PAX West. We will be showcasing off Astro Haulers, our first ever 2D package strategy game that you can find right now on itch.io, link in the description. I've mentioned it before via my community tab, but in case you don't look there, I'm telling you now. The event is free to attend, so by the decree of the Gunk King, I officially designate the 1st of September at the Seattle Indies Expo a ZachmLIVE official meetup. If you happen to see me, don't hesitate to stop by, say hi, meet the team, and check out our game. We very much appreciate it. And now back to the ranking. The Beekeeper. Probably overpowered when it comes to an event. A lot of people might not like the actual rating I have for this, because I do see other swords coming down, you know, later in the video that would be better in this case. However, if you like bees and you like flowers and you like pollinators, this is probably the sword for you. So I'm putting it in C, because compared to others, it's alright. Next up is the Bone Sword. Again, it's one of those swords that actually doesn't auto swing by default, and you have to, you know, have an accessory to do that. The design is cool, but I have to keep clicking in order to use it. If it had auto, if it was on auto, I would like this sword a lot more. But I'll give it credit enough, C for credit. Next is the Blade of Grass. Like earlier with Volcano, if you grew up playing the game in the earlier versions, you'll have nostalgia for a lot of these earlier hard mode swords, because it was pretty much the last thing that you got playing the game. It works great against the Eater of Worlds, as you can clearly see, and based off of design, effect, animation, and power damage, I'm gonna put it in S, because it's just epic. The Mandible Blade. I'm going to keep this one short. It literally only benefits you if you get it early game. I don't get it all the time. Not something I cared about. Again, this comes down to a lot of bias of, do I care about needing this? Do I need it? Has it benefited me? If I got it, sure. I just never cared. Damage is fine. It auto swings, so I'm not putting it lower than C, but it's not going higher than C either. The Fly Meal. It's based because you can actually hit your NPC counterparts with it. You can actually damage them. That's a good thing. And with that, it's going straight into A tier because of that ability. Nothing else. There's no other reason for why it's going to A. It's purely because of that. And next I present to you the sword of all time, the Breathing Reed. You're like, well, Zach, it's not really a sword. Shut up. Like, half of the things on here, they're not really swords, but they work like swords. First of all, it's in my channel banner. Second, best weapon the whole game. I don't really need to say much. You understand how it works, right? I made like a bazillion videos on it. We're gonna put it straight into, wait, hold on. Why did he put it into F? I didn't. Next up is the candy cane sword. So based off of just like holiday preferences alone, we're gonna put it in B tier. It's fine. I mean, it's a cool design. That's all I really care about it. A little fun fact about the cactus sword, which is up next. It'll defeat the destroyer for fun. A tier. Test it. Go and test it yourself. I'm just gonna combine both the short sword and broadsword for the next few because it's tedious and they're boring as copper swords. C tier. Iron swords. C tier. Lead swords, D tier. Not a big fan. Tin and tungsten swords, D tier as well. They're just not, I don't know. It's just not, I'm not a big fan. They're kind of bleh. They're bleh. Now gold swords. Now these are some good shit. A tier. I love gold. Platinum swords, I will say, not as high, but still fun. B tier. Silver swords, well, actually, they're okay. Yeah, B. Now, in my opinion, these are the boring wood types. Shadewood, Ebon wood, boreal, pearl, and ashwood. All right, let's rank these up. Blah, blah, and then not a big fan. Hope you want, I don't care. Zombie arm. That's the sound they make when they swing the zombie arm. It's okay. Honestly, it's a fine weapon. We're gonna put it in C. It's fine. The katana. Not even game related. Probably the only reason why this is ranked at a decent spot on the tier list is because I have been to Japan. Did you know that? I think you may or may not have known that. So with that being said, we're gonna put it at A tier for awesome. Muramasa. Not to be poetic and have a repeating reason similar to the last sword.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
But it's because I've been to Japan again. I only went once, but it's the second reason for why I like this sword. Because there's a Japanese style, put it in S. Just put it in S at this point. I don't even need to explain. To finish off this song, we have the Psycho Knife. If you happen to get it on the rare chance, you will be ka-chow! Lightning speed fast with this thing. High damage output, really cool vibe, really fast. Just not as good as Muramasa, though. So, A tier. Keybrand. I love the little shine effect, plus it's from a based game series. A tier. Enchanted sword. It really makes you feel like Zelda. S tier. I love Zelda. Chlorophyte saber. Honestly, very underrated. This thing would clean up an event in seconds. A tier. Star Fury. It used to be good, but got hugely nerfed in past updates. C tier. Purple clubberfish. It's slow, not something I would go after, but I'm sure is a nice catch early game. C tier. Next up, the adamantite sword. I love the look of it. Auto swings. It's fast. Usually the sword I try to acquire as fast as I can when I recharge it. S tier. Terrablade. The Terrablade was always my endgame sword, not the stinking Zenith, so it has nostalgia for me. S tier. Knight's Edge. Another nostalgia blade. I like the color purple and has a sick ass animation that it definitely deserves. A tier. Breaker Blade. It's definitely a cool reference and has a decent amount of range but doesn't auto swing. Still a vibe though. B tier. Starlight. This has got to be one of the coolest swords in all of Terraria. Its range is insane, and it freaking shreds. No argument in its power. S tier. Next up, the Orchakam Blade. It's got come in the name, so you know it's worth something. However, it's overshadowed by Mithril, so C tier. Phase Saber. I am a big fan of Star Wars, and it makes you feel like a Jedi Knight. However, I didn't see any stars fight each other. Regardless, I put it in A tier. Excalibur. I mentioned earlier that the Terrablade was my endgame sword. Well, this is its predecessor. You won't catch me lacking without it. S tier. Oh yeah. Frostbrand. Legitimately, it's a fun weapon, however, slower than some other projectile swords I'd rather acquire. It does look pretty cool though. B tier. And here we have the Cutlass. Let's see how it does on the Pirate Invasion. So I guess no Pirate Invasion. Well, it does well against the Destroyer. Trust me, it works really well. B tier. The Beam Sword. If only the Enchanted Sword was as powerful as this one. Can you blame me? It's just not the Master Sword. I wish it was Zelda. I wish everything was Zelda. B tier. Titanium Sword. This may not be a take that everyone will agree with, but I actually like titanium just a little bit. Please forgive me as I am an adamantite simp and not some barbaric buffoon who indulges in heavy metals. Letter B for Bumble, the dating app. Mithril Sword. I freaking love Mithril. I wish I was like Frodo and had some armor made from it. Honestly, kind of wish we had the old Sprite. It's cooler. I don't know. I just like it. S tier. Oh yeah. We got up next the Seedler. This thing can throw bombs. Collateral damage, indeed. Maybe you're the bloke who says, actually, those are exploding seeds. I'm literally gonna send you an in-video game pipe bomb to your in-video game house. A for apricots. They grow on trees, right? Palladium sword. Same vibe as Orchalcum. I don't know. What was my review for that one? Put it in C, which stands for cup. Meowmer is up next. Probably one of the most obnoxious sounding swords. However, I could give less of a freak. It's based. It does a lot. It does a lot. A tier. Phase Blade. I tested it with a fair boss, knowing it would potentially do well, but even then, it still didn't perform as expected because I was expecting more from it. Ice Blade. You can make the argument that it's pretty good early game, but in my opinion, aesthetically, it's kind of depressing. C tier. My hand would get cold. Up next is the Christmas Blade. I mean the Christmas tree sword. It's actually super based in an event fight, as demonstrated here. I clearly wiped the floor with this spruce looking ass. A tier. I like Santa. Influx Waver. What's great about it is it shoots a projectile, and it goes a good distance too. Most players go for this weapon, but I'm not really one to care. It's an alien type weapon. B tier. The Blood Butcherer. Butcherer? It's the brother of Light's Bane. I guess when it comes to deciding which one I like more, I like the original better. It's purely out of nostalgia. And with that, this bloke goes in C. It's not a bad sword by any means. Chlorophyte Claymore. I will be honest, what the heck even is Chlorophyte? I should have asked that for the previous Chloro sword. It does shoot a powerful orb, quote unquote, which is super beneficial. I will admit, high B tier. Don't cry about it. The True Excalibur. It is the truest Excalibur or the realest Excalibur? I can't really answer that besides mentioning the fact that it's sick as shit. Big fan of the upgraded sword, S tier. Light's Bane. The original, the first, the peak of based weaponry. In 1.44, they added the streak effect, which makes the sword so much better. The better twin compared to the Blood Butcher. A tier. Star Wraith. It's mildly depressing. It replaced the Star Fury inability. However, I can see why its child sword would be too OP in free hard mode. This is post Moonlord though. That's something I hope to get when I beat him. A tier as well. The Horseman's Blade. I'm a big fan of Halloween. I really love those pumpkins and stuff. Big spooky sword, I will say. One of you motherfuckers thought my analysis of Auto Swing was irrelevant, however. Too bad, it gets an A for that. And finally, the Blade Tongue. Piss sword, which isn't a bad thing, you know. I can see the benefits in a large crowd. Piss sword, it's a piss sword. Need I elaborate? C for pissed. Brand of the Inferno. Never in my life have I actually attempted to get this sword. Maybe because I don't fight the old one's army enough in my playthroughs. Baller ass sword though, I will be real. And you can use a shield alongside of it. High A tier, I swear to God. Palmwood Sword. This sword's like, well, if you really wanted that summer beach vibe right when you started the playthrough. You're only getting it if you go to the ocean. It's not very exciting in my opinion. High D tier. Exotic Scimitar. I completely butchered that name. I apologize. However, it's very much a fun little secret sword. By killing the Dye Trader, you might get it. Not something I personally cared about, nor would it have helped me in any way. High C tier. Oh, would you look at that? It's the Wood Sword. Peak. Dare I say any more? I would tarnish its reputation with the harsh spoken words from my mouth. Tip of the top, meaning top of F tier. Yeah, put it right there. Rich Mahogany Sword. I like the name of this one. Mahogany. Try saying that 10 times. Mahogany. Dear T. D tier. Flying Dragon. Huh? I've been sleeping on this one because it's an old man army sword. And again, I don't even do that. This sword is mind-boggling. I need to use it more. It's based. What the frick is this? Tip of A tier. Arcalis? More like Duke of Arrakis, am I right or am I? Follow me, dude. Very unique from the rest of the lineup. Only works in close combat, but I see that as a very, very base thing. A tier as well. Now I review and rate weapons that are technically swords, but as many intellectual individuals will be able to determine, these are not swords. There are other funny goo gaga things. Regardless, let's continue. The Bat. Probably the slowest swinging thing in all of Terraria. Oh wait, it actually is! It's both a weapon and reference from the Don't Starve game series. I'll give it some credit though, even though it's very, very, very boring to use. It has lifesteal, making it useful to heal yourself in a slow ass situation. Would I use it? Not really. But for the design and concept, I can appreciate it to some degree. It's going in C tier. The bladed glove. Now, this is a weapon I can get behind. However, one of the rarest items to acquire, both being only acquirable during the Halloween season. Ooh. If happened to start a playthrough and acquired this early on, I would be pretty happy. But by definition, it literally shreds. There might be some other rankings where I said something shred, but it didn't actually. This is a literal claw, so it does. Middle B tier. Classy cane. I'm getting this. I'm quite studious with the class coming in here. I brought my there is literally no reason to get this item. Unless, of course, you want to be a gentleman and carry your funny looking stick, then here you go. But honestly, very disappointing, in my opinion, especially with it being in hard mode. Low D tier. The Death Sickle. I think some people claim this to be the best sword in all of Terraria. If not sword, then one of the best weapons in all of Terraria. I can definitely see why, though. It auto swings! I mean, that's all I need. No reason for me to indulge any further. You can see how it's performing 100% plus ultra. S tier for sure. Defeated bagging these nuts. You won't catch me saying the name of this weapon ever, probably because I have no idea how to pronounce it. However, it's claimed to be on par with the Psycho Knife. I can agree. Very accessible too via Crimson Mimic. Would I use it though? Yes. I would even put it above the Psycho Knife. Suck on that scary murder knife. High A tier. Gladius, apparently one of the strongest short swords in the game. Dropped from hoplites, it's special because it does a funny little triple attack each click. So kind of 3 hits in one, which is fun. Not a lot of damage though, but I can't hate on it. Aesthetically, it's pretty cool. Middle B tier. Icicle. The adopted sibling of the sickle family. I hate comparing, but I'm gonna compare. The Death Sickle is way better. Heck, the freaking Terraria wiki said this. Compared to the Death Sickle, it is an inferior weapon, lacking auto swing and block friend attention. Ha! Don't call me out on my auto swing takes, as the wiki does too. Oh wait, the wiki also says the icicle is improperly named. It more resembles a real life scythe than a sickle. So they don't even know how to properly name their own weapon. Come on, John Terraria. I thought highly of you. The Hambat. This thing gives you life regen. Kind of regret not ranking this one on a YouTube short, so I apologize. Increased life regen in any form is always a plus for me. With it being a rare pre-hard mode weapon and increased damage based off of food buffs, I'd say it gets a fair ranking of high B tier. Honestly, more impressive than I thought. The Ruler. Please explain to me in the comment section below why this is classified as a sword. Sure, it's more of a short sword, so I can see why it's labeled as that, but who's really gonna know? But I always knew it as an informative item for building, not a freaking sword. So besides the fact that it's no longer a useful item for those building nerds out there, I'ma rank it at C. It's a funny meme though. I get it. Stylish scissors. Why do I gotta kill some of these NPCs to acquire their weapons? Disclaimer. I did not show me killing the hair size because it didn't actually happen and I cheated the sword in. Cope, please. Even then, it's a 1 out of, let's say 8 chance of getting it. Very doo-doo, I must say. Funny enough, the source file for the name is Stylist Kill Scissors I Wish. So just for that fun little reference, I'm gonna put it in C. It's not too depressing. Umbrella. I have one thing to say about this. I'm as cool as Mary freaking Poppins. Floating down with this ish, putting that in A tier for awesome sauce, cause I'm so awesome. The Tragic Umbrella, more like the Depressing Umbrella. The wiki even says it's very underwhelming. No need to show you that though, as I check for you guys, trust me, you don't need to go and look. Literally does the same thing as the umbrella, but sad. So, C for sad. Tentacle Spike. What the heck is that drop rate? 1 out of 525 chance? Makes sense, as I've never seen this freaking item in my life. Apparently it puts damaging spikes in your enemies. I will say, it's a don't starve reference. So I better put it in a high rank just to make sure Nolan doesn't get mad at me. I'll put it right there. The Slap Hand. This is a goofy weapon. I feel like I'm holding a Mickey Mouse glove. But honestly, kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of damage too. It can be purchased from Mr. Bones McGee down in the underground. Woohoo. Here's me hitting some funny little dudes back and forth. I'm gonna keep playing with this for a little while. Leave me be. Do I have to rank? A high B tier. Alright, back to the normal swords. This is the last sword, though, the True Knight's Edge. Whatever I said for True Excalibur is what I say for this one. I would pick the other, but this has some really cool animations. S tier. Wait a second, are there any other swords to rate? Oh wait, there's one more. The sword of all time. Every freaking kid comments about it. Zenith. It might honestly be the most stereotypical rating ever to give to this sword, but it really is the peak of the peak. It's got a sick-ass name, phenomenal animation, and major damage output. Nothing tops it, top of S tier. And that is all the swords in Terraria ranked by my personal You know what? Hold on. I'm going to move this guy up here. Okay, good. What tier list should I make next? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe.